Do you wipe from back to front or front to back? So I couldn't get Mr. Face when asking that. An H3 branded cereal or an H3 ad that would be a pop-up ad on Pornhub.
I kind of like the Pornhub one.
3, 2, 1, send. Maybe behind Denny's. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of H3Y. Today I'm with two of my favorite people within the H3 universe. We have OWT Wales and Tall Skeleton. OWT Wales, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Owen, aka OWT Wales. I make memes for the subreddit, for the Discord. I get on the show sometimes. And yeah, that's about it.
Right on, thank you. How about yourself, Tall Skeleton?
Hey everybody, I don't know what about this format makes me like want to fist pump.
I do that all the time too. Like every video I'm in, I'm doing this at some point.
I turned into Arsenio. Okay. Hi everybody, I'm Zane from the YouTube channel Tall Skeleton. I've gotten a lot of memes on the show. I've done some editing for the show, like on the D&D special, and on my channel I host short films, animations, music videos, and video essays, and all that kind of fun stuff.
Awesome, thank you very much. So obviously the reason I have you two on today is you two are the big meme artists currently within the H3 universe. So obviously this is a meeting of the minds, and I'd love to see how we can make some fun memes together and how we differ and compare and contrast the memes we make. So
Absolutely.
Before we get into our little prompts that we have, I have to ask some very important H3 themed questions. Number 1, do either of you have any ghost stories?
Ooh, ghost stories. You know, when I was in elementary school and kids just kind of made stuff up, I remember there were some kids that like devised this tale that they had like a garage carport, and if you went it there at night, like ghosts would come in or something. And I remember it was a big playground debate as to whether or not he was telling the truth. Like some people are like, this is bullshit, and other kids were like, I think I believe him. And I remember we had a sleepover there once, and we all went in there at night, and it was all creepy. And I think his older brother just started like banging on the walls, and everybody just started screaming and ran everywhere. But as far as real ghosts go, presuming that wasn't real, no, I do not.
Fantastic. How about yourself, OWT?
I do not. I'd like to believe in them, but I've never seen anything, and all those videos you see online I think are fake. Most of them.
Yeah. Real goblins caught on tape. Videos like that. Great subgenre.
I love that video.
Tons of videos from Mexico where they're like, oh, we found like a troll in the room, and it's like super low quality. You see a little person run across the screen for a second.
Yeah, I love those. I love troll caught on tape. Instant classic. Yeah. 12 million views instantly.
What do you? So Zane, do you at least do you believe in the concept of ghosts?
You know, I'm more out on like aliens and stuff, honestly. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Ghosts, who's to say? I started watching Dan to Dan, and like the premise of that show is that both are real, so who knows, man. But yeah, I'm open to ghosts. Ghosts can be around, who knows?
Yeah. I don't think I've shared this story
so many of them.
But I 100% believe in some sort of other plane that we just cannot see that interacts with us. Whether it's ghosts or not, I don't know. But my story is, I have several, but the most recent one took place about 6 years ago. I had this table. I was super into like gothic aesthetic, so I had like it was kind of like a pentagram altar kind of vibe, and my wallet was just there coincidentally, right? And then one day I'm just at my computer watching YouTube videos, and this is like 6 p.m. and I'm fully awake, and I hear the table creaking back and forth slightly. So I go over to investigate, and I walk towards it, and my whole body goes cold, and I see my wallet fly towards me 2 feet instantaneously. What? Then I run out the room because I'm so freaking scared. And then it took a few hours for me to get the courage to come back into the room. And then I threw away all of my like gothic aesthetic stuff because it scared the shit out of me.
It was cursed.
Totally cursed.
You saw your wallet fly across the room?
No, just across the table.
Okay, across the table. I saw an Instagram reel recently of a guy like using Goku force on water bottles over the course of months until he had telekinesis, and the entire comment section was like, "I'm sold," and then other people were like, "Magnets exist though," so you know, there's ghosts and there's magnets. Who's to say?
That's one of the two. Maybe
Was
I
it like
had
an
a lot-
empty water bottle?
He might have just created enough wind force to
Yeah,
really get
if
it
it
to
was
knock
empty,
over.
you could definitely do that.
He very strategically did 0 heavy objects.
Okay, yeah.
It is possible I just happened to eat a bunch of iron that day, so when I walked towards the wall, it was magnetically attracted to me. Also,
That makes sense.
Zane, that reminds me of this monk who's able to light newspapers on fire with the heat of his body. Have you seen those videos?
What?
No, but that sounds pretty tight.
Yeah, I'll look it up afterwards because I was super into like real life superpowers for a while, and like number one was always that dude who could
seen
force
those.
the heat from his body into one point, and then he could light newspapers.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
There's this guy who
uplink
ate a
that.
plane. Have you
Yeah,
heard
that
about
dude too. That's the same video.
Yeah. I'm like this blind guy who learned echolocation. I don't really know how
That's
that works.
we watched the same
Yeah.
video. That shit was
It's
great.
like, Watch Mojo top 10
Yeah.
superpowers.
I'm waiting for the like posthumous David Blaine documentary where some guy just whistle blows on how the hell he was flying in that one special.
Do you completely unpack when you go to a hotel?
Ooh, good question. You know, I rewatched that clip of Ian explaining that he puts all of his clothes in the drawers and closet, and I feel like my gut reaction was, yeah, that is a little crazy, but then I feel like I suddenly got memories I forgot of as a kid. I think I did put my clothes in those drawers at one point, and it is kind of convenient not just having all your clean and dirty clothes in the same thing at the same time, so I feel like there's validity to what he did. But I don't currently do that, no.
I think it's kind of crazy. He said even if it's one night, like if you stay in there for one night, I'm not taking anything out. Well, I went on a cruise for like a week. I'm doing it then. That makes sense. You're practically living there.
You're living on the seas.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've never done a crew before, but I imagine I would consider it. But for the most part, any trip I've done, it's all pretty much in the suitcase, and then one side is clean and one side's dirty.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Right on. All right, next H3 themed question. Do you pre-wash your dishes before putting them in the dishwasher?
You know, that's a very contentious subject matter. I grew up without a dishwasher, and so when I finally got one, I didn't really know the laws of the land of the dishwasher, so I was putting things in like very filthy, and my roommate got mad at me like, this doesn't work if you do this. And I'm like, well, I thought that was the whole point of it. And so my rule of thumb is if something is crusted onto the dish, you got to get it off. But if you just do a rinse, like a pre-wash is crazy because then you're just washing it twice. But if there's something crusted on, you got to get it off of there.
That's what the heat is for, though. The hot water will remove that, right?
I just remember on the show they showed some dishes in complete shambles that the dishwasher took care of, and I feel like in a realistic setting, nobody has a dishwasher that good.
True.
I feel like if you have like microwaved melted cheese on a plate, the dishwasher is not handling it.
I don't know.
This whole topic is
Unless it's
so
like
it's so crazy to me because I grew up without a dishwasher and I still don't have a dishwasher. Every dish I've ever cleaned is by hand. So the concept of a dishwasher confuses and scares me.
You know,
That's so
it confused and scared me too. I went the entirety of living in the last house I rented without using the one we had, and now in my second home that I rent, I finally have been brave enough to use it, and I gotta say it's very useful. It's good.
I
Absolutely.
bet once I'm gonna do with Zane. I'm not gonna touch the dish once I get a dishwasher.
Why? Oh, I see. Yeah. Don't do it.
All right. Next question. Do you wipe from back to front or front to back? So I couldn't get Mr. Face when asking that.
You know,
I have
yeah,
my
you go ahead. I have to think about this actually.
My answer, if I'm being very honest, is front to back.
Okay. The
See,
classic.
okay, I feel like the biggest argument with this conversation on the show is which one is which. Because I feel like the descriptor is inherently confusing.
That's true.
Here's how I think it's right. This is my front. This is my back. If I'm wiping from front to back, I'm wiping from the balls to the back of the ass.
Okay.
That's front to back. Back to front,
And-
asshole to balls.
And to my okay.
Wait, what?
Which one is the one that people found to be the insane answer?
If it's a woman, back to front is the insane answer, I think.
Because that'll be Okay, so it got broken down to by gender that people were
I
changing.
think so. Well, the real insane answer is the guy that poops in his hand and then washes his hands afterwards.
Oh, that
That man is
Instagram! You gotta splice in that Instagram clip. That thing is so funny.
I'll try to find it.
That guy is dumbfounded that anybody
I
is
hope it was a
disagreeing
joke.
with him.
Good,
I
sure,
hope
like,
it was a
if you
joke.
go your whole life pooping a certain way, there's not really something people talk about. Like, hey, how do you poop? How do you do the thing?
That guy had a rude awakening that morning.
For real.
I don't know how he goes outside ever again. Like, he's the poop catcher guy forever now. I mean,
Every time that clip shows up on my timeline, I like rewatch it like 5 times because I'm still trying to conceptualize like what he's doing exactly.
it's nasty. Whatever it is, I don't want to know. I just know it's gross.
Okay. I'm really excited to get to the memes, so just gonna hit us with one more H3 themed question. Is cereal a soup?
No. Cereal is cereal. Words have meaning, in my opinion.
Yeah. You never have soup with milk.
I
does
feel
that?
like if I'm forced into a binary of soup and not soup as the buckets for all of the culinary experience, then in that context, clearly it's soup.
Yeah.
But is cereal a soup? No. That's your...
Yeah, I tend to agree. The way I see
agree.
it is soup is definitely going to lean more towards savory, and cereal is going to lean more towards the sweet. Even if it's neutral flavor, the cereal, it leans more towards that side.
Definitely.
Well, yeah. I feel like there's I feel like you could invent a soup that maybe defies those rules, but cereal is cereal. Like I don't like to think that I'm having soup for breakfast.
Okay, let's get into the H3 meme scene. But before we go with the prompts, I have one question for both of you. What was the very first H3 related meme that got featured on the show that you made?
That's a great question. So technically the first ever thing that I made that got on the show was, I want to say at the end of 2023 when they did the Jason running horror movie competition. I was the guy who timed everybody's running speed, and then they wound up reviewing that the next day on the show, and they talked about how the guy chasing them was like putting different effort into the different people he was chasing.
I remember that.
And then a few months after that, the very first episode of 2024, they looked at my video essay, which opens with my XQC anti-piracy screen, and then the Gokinaru quote thing, and if you count those as memes. But the first like real time like the show was going on and I made a thing and it was featured was when Ethan asked the question, does the Pope poop in the woods? And I depicted Pope Francis in the woods with a dookie next to him. And then Ethan insisted that it wasn't good enough because his pants weren't down, and so then I made a variant.
That's so funny.
That's awesome. So I'm surprised how kind of recent your whole like lore started. That doesn't feel like that long ago.
Really was like from the first episode of last year, like January 24.
That's nuts. Because I feel like you're such a staple in the community. Like I feel like this guy's been here forever at this point.
That's what's interesting is when I started making them, I didn't really expect people to notice that the same guy was making them. Like when people started like recognizing my username and like leaving nice comments on Reddit or in the chat. I was surprised that people even had that level of attention, because I'm not like much of a Reddit user in my personal life, and so I am not paying attention to like usernames or anything like that. So I guess shout out to people who have, I guess, created this sense that I've been around for a while, but it's not been a crazy amount of time.
Right on. How about yourself, Wales?
So I found the first thing. I'm gonna send it in the chat. It was this edit of the Liver King and Ethan and Hassan. This was 2022.
Oh wow, that
If
was
you
a
can
Oh
long.
see
my
it.
god.
That was the first thing.
All right, I messed up the screen for a second.
Is that like November 2022? That was like the
Yes,
fall
it
time. I
was.
think.
Yeah. That's
He
Mickey
took
Mouse.
off all of his muscles.
Yes. So I've been making memes on and off since then, and then 2024,
Oh, that's good.
I did the green screen contest. I got an honorable mention, and then 2024, I just started getting more and more things. I think
Awesome.
the first thing on the show was like the No Pain Lorraine worm. I don't know why I think Dan requested it. I can't find that, but
You know what? I'm going to issue a correction. In the very beginning of 2023, I made a green screen competition entry that I felt really good about, and it didn't make the competition. It was like a video game fight between Ethan and Ryan, and I remember like 20 minutes after I posted it, someone else did a fight parody and like on the Reddit, and that one made the show and mine didn't. But then when
Damn.
Ethan did a See You Next Tuesday, when he was like soloing them from his basement, I posted it on the Reddit, and he wound up watching it and he liked it. And then I remember down the line, like most of a year later, when they checked out my like Halloween graphic, I remember he was like a tall skeleton who I've mentioned before, and I remember at the time thinking like, there's no way he remembers that. I think maybe he mistook me as like another I don't know, but I think that was technically the very first thing.
I'd be surprised if you remember that too. You seem so obscure. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, no, there's no way. I think when he said I've mentioned this guy before, he meant someone else, but he technically was correct.
Right on. All right, guys, let's get into the memes. So let me know what you think of this one. An H3 GTA cover.
ooh,
An H3 GTA cover. Yeah, I could do that.
Cool. Let's try to get.
do we have any
let's
rules?
try to bang them out. Any what?
Any rules?
I mean, as long as it's not like all AI generated, I think all.
I was gonna say I don't have access to AI.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna not use AI. The only time I've ever used AI like while making a meme is like to generate like fire or something like that. But I've never, like maybe like an asset that I can't find a high quality picture of on Google. But I'm not gonna like type in "make me this meme now, please," But if I'm like, give me a paper texture or something, that's when I will use it.
So slow at like the cutting things out. I need to get better at that.
Because you're not using Photoshop, right?
No, I tried it. I kind of gave up after a bit. I just couldn't figure it out very well.
Yeah, I've been
My-
using Photoshop since I was a 6th grader, since I was like 11, and I'm gonna be
Damn.
29 next week. So I've been using Photoshop for like 18 years, and it's never been like my main passion, but it's just like the thing that I've, because I do like filmmaking, but it's the thing I've done the longest, and so kind of flying around the program quickly is I think what I can maybe afford, what I'm able to do to. But you have your own program that you use, so I'm sure that you feel the same way about that.
Yeah, I've been using this website. Shout out Pixlr. It's free.
Oh, you do it through a website?
Yeah, I've been using it since like 2015, I think, so 10 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I'm still not that good at it. Like, I've never like recorded myself making memes, so people are gonna look at it and be like, "Oh my god, there's so much there's so many faster ways to do this, and I just don't know. I'm currently just outlining things to cut out.
Well, yeah, that's the cutting things out thing is interesting because I have changed my techniques over the years on how I cut things out a number of times, and then literally like right around when I started doing it consistently on the show is when Photoshop's like auto select tool happened. So I literally just like click a button and a person in a photo gets cut out. However, that can the thing is though is like that kind of thing fails kind of consistently.
I did notice that, yeah.
And so a lot of the times when I'm on Instagram and I see somebody posting like a Photoshop tutorial, you go into the comments these days and the most common comment is oh, you could just use AI to do this for you in like 2 seconds. And I'm always like, well, the fact that this person can do it without AI means that they're like, you know, it's helpful, because I feel like people who like are only relying on that will kind of get stuck at certain points.
Definitely. There's definitely a limit to it.
For my thumbnails and things, I try to use it as sparingly as possible, especially because obviously doing stuff without it, I think, just tends to just be better in general. But also, you know, also some of the things that I like for the backgrounds of things, like how you guys are describing. So for the recent, the last 2 videos, the good deeds and the sins of Ethan, just the background's AI.
Oh, nice.
That's the thing is I'm like such a bad multitasker. I'm doing my best to design while I yap, but that's the thing is there's different types of AI, and I think that gets kind of lost on people, where it's like there's generative AI where people are just kind of posting like, you know, dog shit images and being like, look at the art I made. And then there's like, you know, procedural repetitive labor things like cutting people out of images, which there's not like, there's a talent to it, but there's not necessarily like an artistic merit bragging right like intrinsic to it, to where it's like it's, you know, just saving people a lot of time in a way where it's not like you're making bullshit art, if that makes sense. Like Into the Spider-Verse, a lot of people celebrate these days as like one of the biggest, you know, innovations in like modern animation. But even they used some like AI tools for like automated procedural shit that like nobody wants to do. But it's and but it's not like they used it to like animate the movie or develop the art style, if that makes sense. And I think that delineation is a little bit lost on people who don't do this type of work, because it's a little bit, you know, confusing on like what is what.
Yeah, definitely.
Like people who are proposing, let's like replace film writers and film animators with AI scripts and AI animation, like that's
just insane.
That's atrocious. You know, but there's people like you know, Ashton Kutcher, who's like, we'll have so many stories and films. I'm like, but they'll suck ass.
We can just replace him with AI. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Just get rid of Ashton.
Yeah, you're the second best Steve Jobs guy in a movie. Feel like I'm kind of cooking right now, I'm not gonna lie. How are you guys feeling?
I'm doing good. I just realized though that my Photoshop wasn't recording, so I'll just splice in your guys' footage until I fix my shit.
There's not anything interesting going on right now, but there will be.
I highly doubt that.
I'm feeling.
Is this just me erasing things?
I'm feeling pretty good about what I got going on. Like, of all of the, you know, as a fan of this show, because, you know, I started watching this show in like late 2019. I was not like an OG fan. It was kind of like right before the pandemic. And, you know, as the years went on and they added people and all these different people are like, you know, creative powerhouses, you know, obviously like Cameron I really resonated with, because he's like just so creative and really good at Photoshop, and he likes to draw a lot, and like growing up drawing was always my main thing. And I remember something I would always think while like seeing him do the memes. I was just like, how does he like come up with this stuff like so fast, like beyond the technical ability? And then when I started doing it, trying to get stuff on the show. At first, that element of it certainly was like a struggle, and I think eventually my brain just started I think maybe kind of similarly to how like Zach has to like recall like sound bites at a drop. It's kind of like, okay, they're talking about this topic, and then it's like, how can I relate my brain to like a show topic or something just like as fast as possible to where it's like this plus this equals like a joke.
I kind of operate in the same way.
Yeah.
Gotta have the knowledge of inside jokes. And then I do be honest, sometimes I'll rely on an inside joke like Fat Love. If I can't think of anything, throw Fat Love in there.
That's a people pleaser for sure.
You have your people pleaser go-tos, eh?
It works every time.
And something that you've done that I really respect is so you obviously are the founder of the infamous scrimmage live meme.
Absolutely.
Which is for context.
Opus.
Yeah, so for context, that's Owen's meme of Olivia in a really funny fedora, and on the Reddit, you just kind of invented this reality that she like used to be into like trying to make this like tacky hat like a thing, and people loved it, and then that wound up getting kind of assigned to the poker arc where people are like, oh, this is what she wears when she plays poker. And so what I think is so funny about that is you kind of created your own lore reality not based in anything. Pretty much. You kind of just said, how about this? And everybody was like, that's hilarious. Which I think is such a funny approach to it.
I can't even remember why I made that. I remember having a bad day at work, and I came home and was like, I'm just gonna make something stupid, and that's what came up. So.
Everyone loves Scrimmage Live.
Not to speak for you, but maybe as a question, if I had to guess the reason why you made that, I think that the photo you did is her like drinking out of something, and she looks really intense, and I wonder if you looked at that and you're like, oh, this would be great for like a noir movie like hat moment or something, because sometimes people strike a pose and I'm like, oh, it'd be funny if they were doing this in that pose,
Yeah, I was like, I'll just pick like 2022. I found a random episode from 2022. I think it was when they had Martin on for the first time, so she's trying water. I just picked that frame and it just worked out perfectly. Because she's looking to the side and the hat is at the angle, so it just kind of worked out. Should I say where the hat is from? I don't.
That would be a great scoop. I
would
never even thought to ask.
Wait, sorry, I totally missed it. The hat's not real?
Oh no, it is real. I just
I think Alex is saying. I think Alex is saying that he thought that she actually wore that hat.
Are you serious? Dude, I swear this whole time that hat was real.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Did you actually think she wore that?
I did.
You're fucking with me.
I am not fucking with you. I swear to
God. You're a goober for that one.
Oh my God.
That's so funny.
Because to me, she seems like she would wear that hat.
They made a whole emote out of it. It's
I was
real.
amazed they found it. They put it as an emote. I mean, I was so surprised. It was just after the poker tournament they did with all them. Which the next episode, it was just randomly in the chat. I couldn't believe it. Oh yeah, the hat. This is the big scoop. The hat is from.
What's that from?
It is worn by Ryan in High School Musical 2.
Yo, that's some good lore right there.
Right?
I'm almost done with my meme right now. Also, I don't know how you guys are doing, but
I'm about halfway done.
I need some more pictures. Some more
me too.
I don't know if you'll use me saying this or not, so maybe it'll be a scoop, maybe it won't be. But an idea I had recently is I think I'm gonna do a post on the Reddit of my favorite unused memes, like my most in my opinion, underrated. Like, this one would have been a banger if it got shown. You know.
Good idea.
Sometimes you have ones that you're like proud of, and they just they don't make it. They slip by. And I'm never upset about it, just because it's like I know that they have a lot of moving parts, and it's like, it is what it is.
All right, I'm ready. 3,
Right.
2, 1, send.
Ooh.
Wow.
Alex, I
Dude,
like
that
the
is
font.
sick.
The font action.
Oh damn! Oh, the rolls. Okay, you got more like GTA.
Oh,
Alex.
Alex.
GTA aesthetic photos.
Alex, we had some of the same ideas. We also did the Trisha Rolls Royce, and we did the Ela photo she posted today.
Oh,
And then
Yeah, that Ela photo was I could not include. I had to. Oh, the dad, dad looking like a fucking gangster is hilarious.
yeah, see, I would have used Scrimmage Live, but she's your meme, and I feel like that would be a little bit rude of me, and I'm so glad.
Do you like the one of Ela and one?
Oh, and I love how you put Nate in that little square.
That's what I was on
there.
about.
That
He's a
is
little
good.
Easter egg.
That's good. And we
Oh,
also
stole
got Love, young Fika sipping on some Baja Blast up there over the clouds,
the-
which I thought
the Taco
was
Bell
just
photo
vibes.
shoot.
Yeah, we got a little shot of the city
Nice.
too, which you gotta.
And
have.
also Dan Esteban, his forehead is just beaming with light.
It is beaming. That's a nice beam, man.
That doesn't even look like Dan. That's so crazy how the
That's
facial
Dan
hair just
Esteban,
changes up
baby.
so much.
I had to go through.
The eyes are pretty different.
I did crank the saturation on his eyes when I
Okay.
made the original
Okay.
Dan Esteban. I did so much to make him look like that.
All right, up next, let's take a closer look at everything going on in Owens. Got the classic Scrimmage Live, top left.
Classic.
We have, I don't know who that person is in the middle with the red hair. And then the top right, we have Tom with the money.
Got money.
We have one of those Ela lookalike things. What is going on with the Ela photo?
That was the Google Images photo I found. It was a video called the Ela.
I do not see
conspiracy
Ela
theory.
anywhere on this.
That's
What the
her
fuck are you guys
face. It's
talking
her
about?
face.
Where?
Pasted on the left middle. It's her face pasted on some guy, and I thought it was kind of GTA-ish. It kind of fit it. I
What
don't
is
know
the
who the hell
origin
that
of
is.
that?
I just found it on Google Images. I was trying to find a funny photo of Ela.
I like the Zach with his shoes up. That's just some good energy right
He's
there.
just wearing a clown shoe.
Well, just to give appreciation to yours, Steiny looking down the barrel of that lens while fishing
get
around
that
with some
photo?
poker chips is very funny. And also, you have drunk Cameron up there, which is unfortunate.
So
What is the
my
top
inspiration was the GTA San Andreas one, and they have
Okay.
a character who's like super into weed, and I thought Cameron kind of fit that spot for him perfectly.
Definitely does.
We have Cav because the original also has a helicopter, so I want
Oh,
to put Cav.
I was wondering.
Being a firefighter.
I like the extra effort you did of downloading the font and just typing out your own title to the thing. I
Yeah.
think that's good.
All right, let's take a look at our next prompt. I'll give you guys a choice between this one: an H3 branded cereal or an H3 ad that would be a pop-up ad on Pornhub.
I kind of like the Pornhub one.
Okay, so you just want to like elicit the aesthetic core of those shitty ads.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, send.
Want some UNT?
That's good.
Oh, I like the Windows like XP aesthetic. That's so good.
That window's it's like pop-ups. You can't get rid of them.
Yeah, I feel like these are the.
He's so red.
What is going on in this right picture? Hot single nurses. What is going on here?
That's incredible.
Ethan is giving birth.
What the fuck? Thank you for blurring his nipples too.
Yeah, thank you. And Owen's hot single guy in your area. My name is Ethan Klein.
I like
I'm in
your
your
use
area
of-
and I paid for this ad.
I like your use of emojis.
Thank you.
Watery mouth. This is me. I'm a little chunky, but I like
the recent
Maybe behind Denny's. Fuck, that's hilarious.
That's the spot.
The recent Liver King mugshots just felt inspiring for such a task.
He's definitely
It
selling
looks like
something.
Ron Jeremy.
Does it?
Yeah.
I like the idea that they would accept Venmo.
I like that.
Good job, guys. Those are fantastic. So, new tattoos for iDubbbz or H3 themed tarot cards.
Owen, feel free to disagree, but what we were just discussing, I'm erring a little bit more on the side of the tarot card. But if you're really feeling iDubbbz, go ahead.
No, I like. We can do the tarot cards.
3, 2, 1, send.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah, Owen, I think you take the cake on this one. I didn't really get a
The
lot
cannibal.
of fun ideas with that. The cannibal's good.
Death. The lovers? Who is that next to Dan?
It's Ryan Reynolds.
It's Ryan
Reynolds.
Oh my god.
And he's dressed as Deadpool. I like your interpretation of the death card too. That's very good.
All right.
For my death card, I just have love holding a knife.
I mean, that adds up. I love
The
yours.
queen.
The queen.
Yeah, the queen. And then
Yours
as
is,
a
yours is
last
very aesthetically pleasing.
It
as
is.
a last ditch effort, I got demon mode in there.
The devil.
Oh yeah, of course the devil. Whose hand
Awesome.
is that?
That's Zane's hand.
Oh, nice.
What?
Got some-
Wait, what? Whose hand?
Your
What are you
hand in
talking
that
about?
photo.
What?
In, your,
In
your
mine?
meme. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that's my dainty little hand.
Ethan LinkedIn profile, a thumbnail of Ethan criticizing one of his dogs, or let's see, a new anti-Ethan video thumbnail.
I'm down for the dog one.
All right, let's do the dogs ones then. All
I'm
right.
ready as I'll ever
3,
be.
2, 1, send. A ducky. Oh yes, the mugshot. Little Alfredo said. Ethan.
Oh, you went a different dastardly dog route, Owen. I see what you
I
were
did.
doing.
I'd already made the Alfredo in jail one.
Yeah, the
Cool.
Alfredo jail one's sick.
Got arrested
Humping?
for
Question mark.
unwanted humping.
Very
Content
good. These are
nuke Alfredo.
fantastic.
And then you just went content nuke route, and you kind of had him dripped out.
Yeah, why does he have drip? What the fuck?
That's the first image that popped up that I thought would look good. Owen, what would you like to plug?
You can check me out on Reddit. I made a meme, Instagram meme page recently called OWT_memes. I'm on a break right now because the show's on break, but I will try to get back to posting stuff daily, ideally.
Cool. Thank you very much. Zane, what would you like to plug?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Alex. So yeah, you guys can find me at the Tall Skeleton YouTube channel. Lately, I've been uploading videos weekly as much as I can. We also have like a cool new mascot character that I'm going to be doing like weekly posts on the Instagram for Tall Skeleton. And then I've also been streaming myself animating on Thursday mornings on Twitch, and that one is a tall_skeleton. But yeah, on my channel I have music videos, short films, animations, video essays, so you can just find me at all those places. And yeah, that's about it. Just Tall Skeleton in all of the places, but the main place is YouTube.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
It's going to be interesting. I've never, I don't think I've really ever, or I've done a couple interviews, but very rarely